Hi, Sharon Brennan here, Cottage Lane Stamper. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the U.S. And I know a lot of people are making Christmas cards, but it's still October. So I wanted to share a technique with you with our Gather Together bundle from the August to December mini catalog. And it's this stamp set here. And the dies that go with it. And the technique I'm going to show you is how to create this beautiful background with a window sheet and some water, a spritzer. And I've used the shimmer paper. Shimmer paper deals better with water than the Whisper White. So whenever I have any watercoloring to do, even your blender pens will work really nicely on this shimmer paper. And I will have all the supplies and directions on my blog, cottagelanestamper.blogspot.com. I can show you that here. So, got my finger out of the way. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to start off with a piece of, let's see, foil, which I have misplaced. And we're going to use, on this card here, I put it now, keep losing myself. I use bronze in the back, and this is the brushed foil from the August to December 2020 mini catalog. And we're going to cut this about, let's see, I think it is a 4.5 by 3 1/4. So get my trimmer in here. So I'm going to do 3 1/4. And this should be close to 4.5. Just a bit over. And I usually don't use foil as a background layer. But I'll also show you another tip. We're going to actually emboss on foil, which I've never done before. This is a new experience for me. So I've got my Versamark ink, and I'll get my leaf here. And because this is a photopolymer, I'm going to use my paper piercing mat. It gives a little extra push. With the real rubber, you don't need to use paper piercing mat, but with the photopolymer, it gives you a little bit of more of cush and a better impression. So I'm going to do this off on the side. Because I'm also going to cut a couple of leaves out of here to use again for my card. So I'll get my tray out here, and I'm going to use gold embossing powder. And I should have used my embossing buddy in the first place. It's not going to matter so much on this because it's going to be a background layer. But usually I use my embossing powder, and it takes care of all the residual pieces. So I'm bringing my heat tool in. I like to warm mine up a little bit before I use it. So excuse the noise. Oops. I just touched my stamp there So if that happens and you haven't heat set it yet, just go back in and put some more on it. So I'm gonna a little bit more here. I just have some in my tray that I'm swishing it through. So let's get this extra off of here. And I'm going to warm this up a little bit. And with foil, you have to kind of go fairly quickly, because it does curve it a little bit. So you can see it. And there, it's all done. So, sorry about that. My finger hit the button. Anyway, I put my embossing powder with. Your embossing powder will last for years unless you emboss every day with it. So, you just put the rest of it back in the little jar and save it for next time. The jar I've had this jar. I bought it before I started as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I got it at Hobby Lobby. And I've been a demonstrator for 5 years and have used the gold a lot, and see how much is gone. There's not much. There's still quite a bit left in there. So anyway, just to show that to you. And then I'm going to take the die from the die set, the big leaf. Excuse me. And I like to, let's see, where's my stem? Right there. Line it up. So I'm just going to line this up again. Make sure my leaf is in there, and hold that there. And then whatever leaves I can get in here. These leaves are absolutely gorgeous. They not only die cut, but they also emboss. So I'm going to pause for a second here and go die cut this. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Now this is a really good tip. So anytime you're die cutting an image out of the same cardstock that you're going to use as a background layer, you can just die cut from the center of it, and that way saving on your cardstock. So there, that's it. So we have this for our background. Now I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to cut a piece of, I'll just put these back on my magnetic sheet here so I don't lose them. And so I do with my shimmer paper now. Here's my shimmer paper. So this was, get my ruler out here again. My short-term memory is not very good. So it is, I'm going to use this side, it's easier. 4.5 by 3 1/4, I think I said. Yeah, 4.5 by 3 1/4. So we're going to do 4.5 minus 1/4 inch. So my shimmer paper is going to be 4 1/4, and this is 3 1/4 by 3. So put this in here. We'll do 3 1/4. Oh, 3, that's right. By 4 1/4. There. And then I'm going to save this piece for my sentiment. So the technique that I'm going to show you today, you take one of your large clear blocks and find and a piece of window sheet. And what we're going to do is we're going to, I need a water spritzer here. And we're just going to run some of this ink across the block. So that is Mango Melody. And I'm ever going to use some Cajun Craze. And every time you do this, it's going to turn out different. It doesn't have to be, there's no exact thing to this. So, and then pumpkin pie. Just run some of that across here. And then I take my water spritzer. Now I've seen this done with alcohol and with blender pens, and I did try that, but it dried a little bit too fast for me. So I just decided to use water instead. And we're just going to spritz this until it kind of just pools up there a little bit. And then we take our window sheet and take our shimmer paper, and I don't like that. Oops. Take a brush. Actually, what I'm going to do is, I like it better right on the block, I guess. And you can do it all the way around the edges. And then if you don't have enough, you can go back with some more ink. And I'm going to So we're going to take one of our clear blocks, and we're going to use 3 different colors. We're going to use pumpkin pie. Just kind of smear it around there. I'm sorry, that was Mango Melody. It wasn't pumpkin pie. And here's some pumpkin pie. I'm just going to smear that there. And some Cajun Craze. Now you can use any color combination that you want. Then we're going to take our spritzer and spritz this until it pools up a little bit. And it'll give it kind of a watercolor effect. I think my spritzer may be going dry. There. And then we're going to take our piece of shimmer paper and just lay it on there. Kind of move it around a little bit. It's leaking out the sides. And there, isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to kind of take my watercolor brush and kind of get around the edges. But don't you just love that variegated look? Just kind of blend this in a little bit. There, it's gorgeous. You know, I was doing my calendars for the craft sale, and was looking for a background, and I did some washes, but actually I like this better. I don't know that I would want to do it for like 50 calendars or whatever. Now this will take a little bit of time to dry, or you can just take your heat gun and hit it with that. So and it kind of flattens it out at the same time. So there, and there's just a tiny little corner here I want to get. Just going to color that in. Got some there, and along the edge maybe a little bit. There, that's great. So isn't that gorgeous? I love it. It's so deep and rich. And we're going to take this and apply it to our background here. Now you're going to want a good adhesive on this. When you're applying it to foil, and I don't like to use glue when I'm doing foil because inevitably I get it on my fingers and then it makes marks on the foil and you just can't get it clean looking after that. So, oh, there. I'm going to take this. I've got some on my fingers. Just smooth that down. And then I need a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I'll cut this in half. It's 8.5 by 11. So you cut it on the long side at 5.5. And then we're going to score it 4 1/4. Now on Whisper White and Very Vanilla paper, you have this valley. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you'll have a valley when you score it. There. So on Whisper White and Very Vanilla, the valley goes to the inside. Now if you're doing colored cardstock, the valley will go to the outside. It has something to do with the way the paper is made, so I don't pretend to understand all the technology behind it. So we're going to take that and let's see, we're going to adhere this to the background. Now if there's any techniques or anything that you would like to see me demonstrate, please leave a comment and let me know how you like this project too. So I get a little bit too close to the edge there with my die cutting. I'm going to try to peel this off gently. I don't know if you guys ever mess up like this, but it's going to show just a hair. And I think I'll just try to cover it up. There. So this card will be just a little bit different. But that's okay. We always try to fix our boo-boos. So anyway, here are my other leaves. Now one of these is a little bit bigger than the other, if you can see that. And I just love this embossed texture on this. I love it when the dies cut and emboss at the same time. So actually I'm going to put this one here. And I'm going to use that with, I'll just use some Stampin' Seal. I can get it started here. And I'm going to cover up that boo-boo. And then this will be going like this. And that one will go there. So I'm going to use some dimensionals. So getting to the end of my pack here. So we use all the bits and pieces. So I like to put quite a few dimensionals on this leaf because it's got so many different points. I want to make sure it sticks well. me know what your favorite set is in the August December mini catalog. I love this one. It's in the Gilded Autumn Suite, and I've done quite a few cards with it already. So I'm going to point this in. Want your eye going to the center of the card. I'm going to move this down a little bit because it's covering that leaf a little bit too much. There. And then this one I'm just going to put some couple glue dots on. Let's see. So I'm going to put a glue dot here, and I'm going to take another dimensional and put it here because this will be laying off the side of this leaf, and I want it to be the same height. So I got that wrong. I did. Don't do what I say, do what I do. Right? There we go. Maybe I'm a little dyslexic there. And then we're going to take a sentiment from this same set, and it's got some beautiful sentiments in it. So glad to have you in my life. Gather together, wishing you well. May this season bring you smiles of love that will last all year. And I love the pumpkins on it. And actually, for the pumpkins, if you stamp that twice, you have 2 dies actually to cut it out. So we're going to use, I think, Gather Together, because now during COVID, that's what we wish we all could do, right? It's kind of hard, and especially with winter coming on, makes it even more difficult. So I'm going to take this piece here and my mat back in here, and I'm going to use my Banner's Pick-a-Punch, and I need it to be 1 inch. So this cuts strips of 1 inch, 3/4 inch, and a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do the 1 inch and just a hair under 1 inch, not even a 1/16 of an inch, but just a hair under, so that it slides in here nicely. Now I just hope my punch will fit. So we're going to gather together. I should use my embossing buddy again, because we're going to actually emboss this too. Get my tray out here. And my gold embossing powder. I love embossing things because it just gives it such a rich feel to it. And because this is so small, I like to use a clothespin to hold my paper so I don't burn my fingers. And there's just a smidge there that's sticking on. So I have a tiny little paintbrush with just a few hairs in it. And I just like to brush those off. And we're going to heat this up again. And embossing shouldn't take you very long. If you're holding it more than a few seconds, you're going to burn the paper. There, that's all the longer it should take. So we have that. Isn't that gorgeous? I put this back in my little pot here. Now if you don't have one of these trays, don't worry, you can do the same thing on a piece of paper and just use it as a funnel to pour it back into your pot. I just have had these trays for years, so if you have them, use them, right? And so I like to actually turn my punch over, and when I have a shorter piece of paper, and I like to make sure that my lines my corners are matching up there. And then punch it. I'm going to hold it so it doesn't move. There. Now we'll do the same with the other side. Because I'm only doing this because it's shorter. If I had a longer piece of paper, I would definitely just shove it up to the end. But I'm not sure how much it'll chop off. So there. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this because there's like 6 different punches you can get, or banners you can punch out from this one punch. So it's one of my favorite tools. And we have this. Get this out of the way. And we're just going to put some you know what I'm trying to say. Dimensionals, right? Find my sheet back. And cut some more pieces here. And put these on the corners. I can zoom in a little bit. There. Got my messy paper. I love this card. And I'll show you another card that I did with it too, with this technique. As soon as we're done here. And I don't know, we had 6 inches of snow the other day and it's way too early. It's only October. Way too early for that. So, there's our card. I'll zoom out a little bit more again. And here's the original. Oops. I've been doing some Facebook Live, so I'm starting to get used to turning things upside down. So, and this one's just laid out a little bit different because I covered my boo-boo. But I think they're both beautiful cards. And I did the other end of the punch on this one than I did on this one. So other than that, they're identical, right? Anyway, I want to thank you for stopping in. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be honored to earn your business. And this card will be posted on my blog, cottagelandStamper.blogspot.com. And I also have a Facebook group page where I do Tuesdays at 10, Facebook Live, every Tuesday. And that's Central Time. And then my website, if you wish to purchase products, is SharonBrennan.StampinUp.net. Anyway, thank you. Here's the other card that I did with it. I did it with this is a Snow Wonder stamp set. Same background, where I did the wash with the shimmer paper, and I love it. It kind of gives it a real snowy feeling. And then I used the adhesive snowflakes there, and this background paper here is the Snowflake Splendor background paper, and I used, I think, let's see, I'm trying to remember, I used Balmy Blue, Blackberry, Gorgeous Grape, and Misty Moonlight, that's right, Misty Moonlight for this one, because that's the colors that are in this DSP. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you another alternative. So thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe to my blog, and all the supplies will be listed there in the dimensions, it's cottagelandStamper.blogspot.com. If you want to join my Facebook group page where I do Tuesdays at 10, my Facebook Live presentations, and that's Central Time. And then any of the supplies can be purchased at my website, SharonBrennan.Stampinup.net. So thanks for stopping in. I hope you enjoyed this, and take care, and may God bless, and stay safe. Thanks. Bye.